There exists a royal decree written upon the heart of every soul that walks this earth. You are heir to infinite supply. This is not a privilege earned through merit, struggle, or special qualification, but a fundamental spiritual birthright, as natural and undeniable as your very existence. Every individual possesses an inherent spiritual inheritance to unlimited abundance that transcends all human understanding of limitation and scarcity. When you truly comprehend this truth, you discover that lack is merely an illusion created by limited consciousness rather than any universal reality or natural law. The evidence of infinite supply surrounds you in magnificent abundance throughout the natural world. Consider the countless grains of sand scattered across every beach, the infinite number of stars jeweling the heavens, the endless drops of water contained within vast oceans, and the limitless variety of plant and animal life that flourishes across the planet. Nature never struggles to produce abundance, never worries about depletion of resources, and never operates from consciousness of lack or limitation. The same creative intelligence that produces this endless natural abundance is the very source of your being, making unlimited supply your natural inheritance rather than an exceptional circumstance. Your consciousness represents not a separate entity seeking supply from external sources, but an individualized expression of the infinite source itself. Just as a wave cannot be separate from the ocean but represents the ocean expressing itself in particular form, you are not separate from universal abundance, but represent that abundance expressing itself through your individual awareness and experience. This recognition transforms everything, shifting your entire relationship with money and supply from one of seeking and striving to one of recognition and acceptance of what already belongs to you by divine right. The world's chorus of lack, delay, and limitation represents nothing more than hypnotic suggestion projected upon the screen of collective consciousness. These appearances, while seeming very real and permanent, are merely shadows cast by limited thinking, effects created by previous states of consciousness that can be completely transformed through proper understanding and application of spiritual law. When you behold an empty account, insufficient income, or unpaid obligations, you are simply facing temporary manifestations with no power of their own. Shadows flee before light, and the light is the word you speak in faith and the consciousness you maintain in truth. The mistake of most seekers lies in attempting to force supply through specific channels, trying to squeeze abundance from reluctant sources, or believing money can flow only through conventional avenues, such as employment or business ventures. This limited thinking creates resistance in consciousness that blocks the unlimited ways through which abundance seeks to express itself in your experience. The universe contains infinite channels for supply, including opportunities you have never imagined, connections you have not yet made, and circumstances that have not yet appeared in your visible world. Many individuals unknowingly dam their river of abundance by harboring deep-seated beliefs of unworthiness, guilt about prosperity, or fear that having money somehow compromises their spiritual nature. These insidious programs must be uprooted and cast out completely. The divine, being pure love and infinite generosity, desires your complete well-being, which inherently includes financial freedom and material comfort. Money, in its essential nature, represents energy in motion, a tool for creation and expansion that is neither good nor evil, but takes its moral character from the consciousness wielding it. To reject money is to reject a powerful instrument that can be used to uplift, heal, build, and bless countless lives. Your divine right operates through immutable law rather than capricious favor. Like attracts like in the realm of mind, and expectation serves as the magnetic force drawing your experiences into form. If you habitually rehearse shortages through your words and thoughts, you give law to shortage. If you habitually affirm abundance and declare your divine inheritance, you give law to abundance. The universe does not argue with your declarations, it simply mirrors them back through your circumstances with mathematical precision. This spiritual birthright transcends all external conditions, economic fluctuations, or personal history. Whether you were born into poverty or wealth, whether you have experienced financial success or failure previously, whether current appearances suggest prosperity or lack, your access to infinite supply remains constant and unchanging. External conditions represent effects rather than causes, temporary appearances rather than permanent realities that can be transformed through conscious alignment with spiritual principle. The practical application of this understanding begins with a fundamental shift in identity. Instead of seeing yourself as a limited human being dependent upon external sources, recognize yourself as an individualized expression of infinite supply itself. This shift in consciousness automatically attracts different experiences because you are now operating from a completely different level of spiritual understanding. Rather than trying to get money, you begin recognizing money as seeking you as a channel for its expression and circulation. To claim your inheritance practically, you must first cast all burden of financial concern upon the higher power within you. Release anxiety, fear, and personal responsibility for orchestrating your supply through limited human effort. Your role involves planting seeds of desire and expectation, then stepping aside to allow infinite intelligence to arrange perfect channels for your good. Declare with authority, I cast the burden of all financial limitation upon the God mind within me. I go free to receive my abundant supply through grace and in perfect ways. Create order in your affairs as preparation for increased abundance. Clean your wallet. Organize financial records, and set your accounts in dignified arrangement. These acts announce to the universe your readiness to handle greater supply. Place reminders of your prosperity consciousness in visible locations. When bills arrive, bless the services they represent and declare divine compensation rather than entertaining thoughts of burden or insufficiency. The principle of circulation serves as abundance's heartbeat. What you grip in fear grows stagnant. What you release in faith returns multiplied beyond measure. Give where you feel spiritually led, not from obligation but from joy of circulation, marking your giving with this decree. As I circulate good, good circulates to me pressed down and running over. Many have witnessed this rule. The moment they became cheerful channels for abundance, their own channels multiplied exponentially. Forgiveness opens wealth's secret passages. Resentment creates knots in the flow. Bitterness constructs dams across your river of supply. If someone owes you money and delays repayment, release them completely in consciousness and transfer the matter to divine justice. Often repayment comes from the very person once you have freed them mentally, or your good returns through entirely different avenues in larger measure than originally expected. Your imagination serves as treasury's architect, designing blueprints for your abundant future. See yourself dealing in plenty, paying with ease, giving with joy, saving with wisdom. Visit your bank in mind and observe account balances, arranging themselves in abundance. This represents not idle daydreaming, but conscious construction of mental templates that infinite intelligence uses to build your material reality. Speak wealth as naturally as breathing. Let your inner conversations flow like golden rivers of affirmation. When contrary thoughts arise, answer immediately. I do not agree with lack, I agree with law. Keep your agreements with abundance short, strong, and consistent. Your tongue inscribes orders upon the ledger of life, so guard your words as carefully as you would guard precious treasures. The timing of your demonstration operates with perfect precision according to divine schedule. There exists no such thing as delay in spirit, only preparation of channels and alignment of circumstances. When appearances suggest lateness, truth declares perfect timing. Rest in absolute certainty that infinite supply flows toward you constantly through ideal channels at ideal moments, requiring only your recognition and acceptance to manifest in visible form. This divine right to infinite supply encompasses not merely sufficient funds for basic needs, but abundance, allowing complete freedom, generous giving, pursuit of highest purposes, and life without financial concern or limitation. The universe operates not from consciousness of just enough, but from principle of overflowing abundance, providing far more than could ever be needed or used. This lavish provision reflects the nature of infinite love, which gives without measure and without concern for return. Prepare your consciousness to receive yourself as the prosperous being you truly are. Dress your thoughts in dignity, carry yourself as one trusted with abundance, pay obligations promptly and cheerfully. The vibration of your secret inner life writes headlines for your public experience. When you move in honor and faith, the universe cannot resist opening doors to larger rooms of expression and supply. In the beginning was the Word, and through this same divine principle, your spoken declarations today carry the identical creative force that brought worlds into existence. Your declarations and affirmations are not mere words floating harmlessly through space, but creative commands that set universal law into motion, drawing financial abundance through the magnetic power of expectant faith. Every syllable that passes your lips serves as a direct instruction to the invisible forces governing manifestation, commanding them to arrange circumstances, opportunities, and resources according to the patterns contained within your speech. The universe operates as a vast, responsive intelligence that listens continuously to every word you speak, treating each declaration as a binding order that must be fulfilled according to spiritual law. When you understand this truth completely, you realize that casual conversation becomes impossible, for you recognize that every statement either builds or destroys, attracts or repels, opens doors or closes them. Your tongue becomes the royal scepter through which you rule your financial kingdom, wielding authority over the invisible substance that forms all material wealth and abundance. This creative power operates through the fundamental law of vibration, which governs all manifestation in both visible and invisible realms. Each word carries its own unique vibrational frequency that resonates throughout the etheric substance surrounding you, creating magnetic currents that attract circumstances matching that particular vibration. When you declare abundance with conviction, you broadcast prosperity frequencies that must return to you as prosperous experiences. When you speak lack or limitation, you emit scarcity vibrations that inevitably manifest as shortage in your financial affairs. The quality that transforms ordinary words into irresistible commands is expectant faith, which represents far more than hope or positive thinking. Expectant faith embodies absolute certainty that your words carry divine authority and must produce the results they describe. This faith does not wait for evidence before believing. Rather, it speaks the desired reality into existence and then watches for its inevitable appearance. When you declare, "My bank account explodes with unexpected money with expectant faith," you are not expressing a wish but announcing a spiritual fact that is already accomplished in the invisible realm. Developing this expectant quality requires treating your prosperity affirmations with the same authority you would use to state obvious physical facts. Just as you would never doubt your statement that the sun is shining when observing bright daylight, speak your abundance declarations with identical certainty and conviction. The universe responds not to the volume of your voice, but to the conviction behind your words and the expectation they carry into the creative medium of mind. Your current financial circumstances represent the exact harvest of words you have spoken repeatedly with feeling and conviction. Every complaint about money shortage, every declaration of inability to afford something, every fearful statement about financial security has served as a creative command that universal law has faithfully fulfilled. This explains why individuals who constantly speak about money problems continue experiencing financial difficulties, while those who speak confidently about prosperity tend to attract increasing abundance automatically. The transformation begins with establishing absolute vigilance over every word that passes your lips regarding money and financial matters. Eliminate completely all negative financial declarations from your vocabulary, treating them as poison that contaminates your prosperity consciousness. When temptation arises to complain about bills or expenses, immediately catch yourself and substitute a blessing. Instead of, "I hate paying this bill," declare, "I bless this money as it circulates, knowing it returns to me multiplied." This seemingly small shift creates monumental changes in the vibrational atmosphere surrounding your financial affairs. The law of substitution becomes your most practical tool for transforming habitual speech patterns that have been blocking your abundant supply. For every limiting statement that has become automatic, create a powerful substitute that reverses its destructive influence. Replace "I can't afford it" with "I choose to spend my money differently." Transform "money is tight" into "money flows to me freely and abundantly." Convert "bills are such a gasting burden" to "every bill represents circulation that blesses all concerned." This conscious substitution gradually rewrites the subconscious programs that have been creating your financial limitations. Your subconscious mind serves as the faithful servant that takes every repeated declaration literally and works tirelessly to manifest it in your experience. This deeper level of consciousness does not interpret sarcasm, recognize jokes about poverty, or understand that you don't really mean your fearful statements. It simply accepts whatever your conscious mind impresses upon it, with emotion and repetition, then orchestrates people, circumstances, and opportunities to align with those accepted patterns. When you consistently declare abundance with feeling, your subconscious becomes a powerful ally, working day and night to manifest prosperity in your affairs. The principle of present tense declaration carries tremendous creative power because it aligns your consciousness with spiritual truth rather than temporary appearances. The universe responds immediately to "I am" statements because "I am" represents the name of the divine expressing through your individual awareness. When you declare, "I am prosperous," "I am a money magnet," or "I am always supplied abundantly," you invoke the creative power of the infinite to establish these conditions in your experience. Avoid future tense affirmations like "I will be rich" or "money will come to me," as these push your desired good into a perpetual tomorrow that never arrives. The timing and environment of your spoken declarations significantly influence their creative power and speed of manifestation. Morning affirmations, spoken when your mind is clear and receptive, plant seeds in consciousness that grow throughout the day. Evening declarations, given before sleep, work in the subconscious during rest periods, often producing surprising demonstrations upon awakening. Words spoken in elevated states of consciousness during meditation, prayer, or spiritual communion carry enhanced creative force due to the heightened receptivity of your awareness. Creating a dedicated sacred space for your daily prosperity declarations establishes a powerful focal point for your creative work. This space accumulates spiritual atmosphere through repeated use, amplifying the magnetic draw of your spoken word. Whether formal or simple, this sanctuary becomes a launching pad for your financial affirmations, sending them forth with increased authority and expectation. Consistency becomes absolutely essential for successful demonstration because contradictory words create conflicting vibrations that neutralize each other's power. Many sincere seekers unknowingly sabotage their positive affirmations by immediately following them with doubtful statements or fearful qualifications. After declaring "money flows to me easily," they might add, "but I don't see how," or "nothing ever works anyway." These contradictory words cancel the creative power of the original affirmation, leaving universal law with no clear instruction about what to manifest. The emotional quality accompanying your declarations determines their magnetic power and speed of attraction. Words spoken with joy, gratitude, and excitement carry tremendous creative force, while those uttered from desperation or doubt produce weak and contradictory results. Cultivate genuine enthusiasm for your prosperity affirmations by feeling the emotions you would experience when your words manifest completely. Allow your body to feel the relief, excitement, and gratitude now. And universal law will hasten to reproduce that emotional state through corresponding financial demonstrations. Repetition serves as the great multiplier of spoken word power, building momentum and intensity with each declaration until your words become irresistible forces demanding manifestation. However, this repetition must be conscious and deliberate rather than mechanical or mindless. Each time you repeat your abundance affirmations, pour fresh conviction and expectation into the words, visualizing them as golden commands, weaving the fabric of your prosperous future. The practice of blessing everything connected to money amplifies your creative declarations exponentially. Bless your bills as evidence of rich circulation, your bank as a faithful custodian of growing wealth, your work as a channel of valuable service, and the financial success of others as proof that prosperity doors are open for all. To bless is to multiply, to criticize or complain is to diminish and block. Your tongue becomes the measuring instrument, determining whether you experience feast or famine in every area of life. Guard yourself vigilantly against the contagion of others' negative financial conversations, treating pessimistic predictions and economic doom as verbal viruses seeking a host in your consciousness. When others speak of lack, limitation, or financial fear, bless them silently and redirect conversation toward possibility and hope. You need not argue or debate. Your calm confidence in abundance serves as a lighthouse that dispels darkness without confrontation. The ancient wisdom that death and life are in the power of the tongue applies with particular force to your financial experience. Every word becomes a spell cast over your monetary affairs, either opening channels for abundance or creating barriers to prosperity. What spell are you casting through your daily speech? Are you commanding wealth and abundance? Or are you unconsciously decreeing limitation and struggle? The choice remains yours, moment by moment, and your bank account will faithfully reflect the consistent direction of your spoken word, demonstrating with mathematical precision the creative power flowing through your declarations and affirmations. Your current financial circumstances are the exact reflection of your mental patterns, serving as an unerring mirror that displays with mathematical precision the predominant thoughts, beliefs, and expectations you have consistently maintained within your consciousness. This represents the fundamental principle of mental causation, which operates as the supreme law governing all manifestation in both visible and invisible realms. Every figure in your bank account, every opportunity that appears or vanishes, every financial delay or acceleration exists as the faithful shadow cast by your inner mental patterns. By transforming your inner expectation, you command the invisible forces to manifest unexpected monetary blessings, because universal law has no choice but to respond to the mental templates you consistently hold with feeling and conviction. The outer world serves as nothing more than an obedient effect, while your mind represents the only true creative cause operating in your experience. Material circumstances possess no independent power to perpetuate themselves. They exist solely as the faithful reflection of the consciousness that created them. When you grasp this truth completely, you cease wrestling with external conditions and begin working directly with the creative force itself, your own mind. This shift from effect to cause represents the most liberating discovery possible, for it places the power to transform your financial reality entirely within your control. Mental causation operates through immutable law rather than chance or favoritism. Like attracts like in the realm of consciousness, and your dominant mental patterns create magnetic currents that draw corresponding experiences into your life with unwavering precision. If your habitual thoughts dwell upon financial struggle, limitation, or scarcity, these patterns broadcast frequencies that must return to you as experiences of lack and difficulty. Conversely, when your mind consistently maintains patterns of abundance, prosperity, and unlimited supply, these elevated vibrations create irresistible attraction for wealth, opportunities, and unexpected financial blessings. The law of expectation functions as the magnetic force that transforms your mental patterns into tangible experiences. True expectation differs dramatically from hope, wishing, or positive thinking because it carries the quality of absolute certainty about future outcomes. Expectation represents a steady inner decree, a quiet royal knowing that assumes its desired result as already accomplished in the invisible realm. This expectation fastens your mind upon a specific outcome until the invisible substance shapes itself around that mental mold, creating the exact conditions you have consistently anticipated with feeling and faith. Your subconscious mind serves as the faithful servant that accepts whatever your conscious mind impresses upon it with emotion and repetition, then works tirelessly day and night to manifest these accepted patterns in your external world. This deeper level of consciousness operates like fertile soil that grows whatever seeds are planted within it, making no moral judgments about whether your thoughts are beneficial or harmful. It simply takes your consistent mental patterns as binding instructions and orchestrates people, circumstances, and opportunities to align perfectly with these accepted beliefs about your financial possibilities. Understanding your mental equivalent becomes crucial for financial transformation because this invisible blueprint determines what you can and cannot attract into your experience. Your mental equivalent represents the sum total of your entity, beliefs, expectations, and feelings about money and prosperity, creating the boundaries within which your financial experiences must operate. If your mental equivalent includes beliefs about scarcity, unworthiness, or the difficulty of acquiring wealth, these limiting patterns will consistently override your conscious desires for prosperity, ensuring that financial struggle continues, regardless of your external efforts. The transformation process begins with developing acute awareness of your habitual thought patterns regarding money and financial matters. Most individuals remain completely unconscious of the limiting thoughts they entertain daily, allowing their minds to operate on automatic pilot while wondering why their financial circumstances never improve significantly. Begin observing your thoughts about money with detached awareness, noticing how often you mentally rehearse lack, worry about expenses, or anticipate financial difficulties. This conscious observation represents the first essential step toward gaining mastery over the mental patterns that determine your financial destiny. Visualization serves as one of the most powerful tools for transforming your mental patterns because it creates clear, detailed images in your subconscious mind that function as blueprints for manifestation. When you consistently visualize yourself as financially prosperous, seeing specific scenes of abundant bank accounts, comfortable living conditions, and generous giving, you impress these images upon your subconscious with such clarity that it begins accepting them as present reality rather than future possibilities. This acceptance automatically triggers the law of attraction to draw circumstances that match your visualized scenes. The quality of your visualization matters infinitely more than its duration or frequency. 5 minutes of vivid, emotionally charged mental imagery carries more creative power than hours of mechanical visualization without genuine feeling. Engage all your senses in your prosperity visualizations, feeling the emotions you would experience when wealthy, hearing the sounds associated with financial success, and creating such realistic mental scenes that your body responds as if these experiences were actually occurring in the present moment. Your imagination serves as the workshop of the soul, where the blueprints of your financial future are carefully drawn and impressed upon the creative medium of mind. Affirmations become truly effective when they align perfectly with and support your visualization work, creating a consistent message that penetrates your subconscious mind from multiple angles simultaneously. Your declarations should reflect the same prosperous reality you visualize, using present tense language that assumes your desired financial conditions already exist in the invisible realm. Instead of affirming, "I will be wealthy," declare with authority, "I am wealthy now," or "money flows to me in ever-increasing morning abundance." This present tense approach aligns your conscious declarations with the timeless nature of spiritual truth, where your good already exists, awaiting recognition and acceptance. The principle of assumption plays a crucial role in mental causation because whatever you assume to be true about your financial situation becomes the creative foundation for your experience. If you assume that making money requires tremendous struggle and sacrifice, you will attract experiences that confirm this limiting assumption. If you assume that wealth flows easily to you through grace and perfect channels, you will experience financial ease and unexpected blessings that seem to appear effortlessly. Your assumptions operate as invisible commands that universal intelligence must obey, arranging your circumstances to match whatever you consistently assume to be true about money and prosperity. Acting as if you already possess the abundance you desire can dramatically accelerate the manifestation process. By strengthening your inner expectation and signaling to the universe that you are prepared to receive increased supply. This does not mean spending money you do not currently possess, but rather adopting the mindset, attitude, and vibrational frequency of someone who lives in financial freedom. Walk, speak, and think as if prosperity represents your natural state rather than an unusual condition. Pay your obligations with feelings of gratitude and circulation rather than resentment or anxiety. Bless your money as it flows out, knowing with certainty that it returns to you multiplied through perfect channels. The principle of non-outline becomes essential for allowing your financial good to manifest through the most perfect channels possible. True expectation holds the desired end result without dictating the specific means through which it must appear. The human mind, with its limited perspective, can only conceive of a few possible avenues for money to manifest, while infinite intelligence has access to unlimited channels, many of which exceed your current comprehension. When you fixate on exactly how your abundance must appear, you unconsciously limit the universe's ability to deliver your good in the most miraculous and unexpected ways. Preparation serves as the visible language of expectation, demonstrating through your actions what you genuinely anticipate will occur in your financial affairs. The individual who truly expects abundance creates space for it by organizing accounts with dignity, keeping financial records in perfect order, clearing wallets and purses of clutter, and handling all money matters with respect and gratitude. This preparation represents not pretense, but faith made visible, creating additional magnetic power that compels the arrival of what you have prepared to receive. Consistency becomes absolutely essential throughout the transformation process because contradictory mental patterns create conflicting vibrations that neutralize each other's creative power. Many sincere seekers unknowingly sabotage their prosperity work by maintaining positive expectations during dedicated practice periods while reverting to limiting thoughts throughout the remainder of their day. Your mental patterns must remain aligned consistently, with thoughts, images, feelings, and words all supporting the same prosperous outcome without internal contradiction or doubt. Patience proves necessary during the transformation period because mental patterns established over years cannot be changed instantly, and there exists a natural time lag between mental cause and physical effect. Your current financial circumstances represent the accumulated result of past thinking patterns, while your new prosperity consciousness creates your future financial reality. During this transition period, you must maintain your elevated expectation. Despite appearances that seem to contradict your desired outcome, understanding that the invisible work you are doing in consciousness must eventually manifest as tangible results. Forgiveness accelerates the transformation process by removing mental blocks that bind your prosperity in consciousness. Resentment toward others regarding money matters creates knots in your flow of abundance, while releasing all accounts mentally transfers them to divine collection and opens your channels for increased supply. Often, your long-awaited financial increase appears the moment you set a debtor free in consciousness because you have untied your own inflow through the same mental motion that released another. The cultivation of gratitude serves as a powerful amplifier of mental causation because appreciation for current abundance, regardless of amount, establishes prosperity vibration that attracts additional wealth automatically. When you consistently bless the money you currently possess and express genuine thankfulness for every financial blessing, no matter how small, you create magnetic attraction for increased supply. Gratitude also shifts your attention from what appears to be missing to what already exists, gradually transforming your mental patterns from scarcity consciousness to abundance awareness. Mental rehearsal throughout each day strengthens your new prosperity patterns by allowing you to experience wealth in consciousness before it manifests physically. Spend time regularly rehearsing scenes of financial success, seeing yourself paying obligations easily, making purchases without concern for cost, and enjoying the freedom that accompanies abundant supply. This mental rehearsal impresses your subconscious with prosperity patterns, while building genuine expectation that these experiences will soon manifest in your physical reality. The law of expectation responds to your deepest, most consistent beliefs rather than your surface desires or temporary wishes. Many individuals desire wealth while secretly believing they lack worthiness, expecting prosperity to be difficult to obtain, or fearing the responsibilities that accompany financial success. These conflicting beliefs create mixed signals that confuse universal law and delay manifestation significantly. True transformation requires aligning all levels of your consciousness with your desired financial reality, ensuring that your expectations, beliefs, and feelings all support the same abundant outcome without internal resistance or contradiction. Your imagination represents the sacred workshop of creation, the divine drafting room, where infinite intelligence awaits your conscious direction to transform formless substance into the specific financial conditions you consistently envision with clarity, emotion, and unwavering faith. Clear, consistent mental pictures of abundant bank accounts and financial freedom serve as divine blueprints that infinite intelligence uses to construct your material reality with the same precision that master architects use, detailed drawings to erect magnificent structures. This represents far more than idle daydreaming or wishful thinking. It constitutes the highest form of creative work possible, engaging directly with the fundamental force that brought all worlds into existence through the power of mental imagery held with absolute conviction. Consider the master builder who would never begin construction without complete architectural plans, for to proceed without vision invites scaffolding with no structure, effort with no edifice. The picture comes first in consciousness. Materials, workers, and opportunities follow the mental plan with mathematical precision. When you picture your financial freedom with certainty and feeling, you hand the divine contractor a complete set of drawings that must be followed according to immutable spiritual law. Channels, people, invitations, and opportunities arrive as if by appointment, because they have been summoned by the blueprint you have hung in the gallery of your mind with persistent emotional conviction. Your subconscious mind serves as the faithful foreman that cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual physical events, accepting both as equally real and immediately beginning to orchestrate the people, circumstances, and opportunities necessary to manifest whatever images you consistently impress upon it with feeling. This represents the secret behind visualization's tremendous creative power. Your deeper mind accepts your mental pictures as present reality, rather than future possibilities, treating them as binding construction orders that must be fulfilled through the arrangement of external conditions, matching your inner vision exactly. The outer world bends to the picture within, because consciousness creates form through immutable law, and your mental images serve as the molds into which the formless substance of the universe pours itself to create your tangible financial experiences. Every figure in your bank account, every opportunity that appears or vanishes, every financial acceleration or delay exists as the faithful shadow cast by the mental pictures you have consistently maintained with emotional conviction. What you behold with the inner eye becomes the pattern that universal law must follow when arranging your demonstrations of supply. The first pillar requires absolute clarity and vivid detail in your mental imagery, for hazy or half-hearted pictures yield weak channels, while vibrant scenes become wide riverbeds eager to receive floods of supply. Rather than visualizing vague concepts of wealth, create specific scenes showing exact bank account balances, particular purchases you desire to make, or precise lifestyle changes financial freedom would enable. See the numbers clearly displayed on your banking screen. Observe the date and account details. Note the emblem of the institution. Let your inner eyes read these lines as plainly as any printed page, for the clearer the detail, the stronger the impression upon the creative medium of mind. The second pillar demands unwavering consistency because sporadic mental imagery creates weak and contradictory impressions that confuse universal law about your genuine desires. A picture impressed once remains merely a sketch. A picture impressed daily becomes permanent engraving upon consciousness. Morning and evening represent sacred hours for this holy architecture, when thought proves tender and receptive to deep impression. In the dawn, place your prosperity picture upon the inner easel and behold it as accomplished fact. At night, pass through the same scene gently, allowing your subconscious to carry it through sleep's corridors, where invisible workers labor without ceasing to manifest your visualized good. The third pillar requires genuine emotional engagement because mental images without authentic feeling remain inert and powerless, while those charged with real emotion become dynamic forces compelling rapid manifestation. Breathe life into your pictures with feeling, experiencing how relief feels in your body, where gratitude tingles, what lightness enters your breath when financial freedom becomes your reality. Feel the emotions thoroughly, for feeling serves as the electricity powering your mental pictures, transforming them from mere thoughts into irresistible magnetic forces, drawing corresponding experiences into your life with increasing momentum. Begin your visualization practice by casting all burden of financial concern upon the higher power within you, declaring with authority, "I cast the burden of how, when, and through whom my supply appears upon the divine intelligence within me. I go free to see my good accomplished." This release prevents desperate striving that repels abundance through excessive attachment, allowing universal law to work freely without interference from fear, doubt, or impatience that delays or distorts demonstrations. Select your specific prosperity picture with conscious choice, for selection itself represents creative power. Choose the exact bank balance that means freedom to you, the particular lifestyle financial abundance would provide, the specific ways you would use wealth to bless yourself and others. Create one clear, definite scene, rather than multiple confused images, for a single picture felt fully outperforms dozens of scenes fogged by haste or uncertainty. Engage all your senses simultaneously to create maximum impact upon your subconscious mind, making your visualization so realistic that your body responds as if these experiences were occurring in the present moment. Hear the soft click of approval when making purchases with ease, the friendly congratulations of bankers discussing your growing wealth, the satisfying sounds of financial transactions completed effortlessly. Feel the texture of currency in your hands, the weight of substantial deposits, the smooth surface of cards that never face decline. Smell the fresh scent of new bills. Taste the celebratory sweetness of abundance acknowledged. See the crisp figures displaying your desired balance with perfect clarity. Speak supportive words during your visualization to anchor the images with creative declaration, for word and image yoked together move mountains of limitation. As you behold your abundant balance, decree with quiet authority, "This is my divine right of perfect supply, visible now. I see it, I feel it, I accept it with gratitude." These spoken words serve as chisels, sharpening the edges of your mental picture while fastening your vision to spiritual law that must respond with corresponding manifestation. Practice present tense visualization exclusively because this approach aligns your consciousness with spiritual truth, where your good already exists, awaiting recognition and acceptance. Avoid future-oriented mental phrases like, "Someday I will be wealthy," or "Eventually abundance will come," instead using inner dialogue, such as, "I am so grateful for my overflowing bank account," or "I love having complete financial freedom right now." This present tense approach impresses your subconscious with prosperity as current reality, rather than distant hope, accelerating manifestation significantly. Master the principle of non-outlining by holding your desired end result vividly while surrendering completely the specific means through which it must appear. The human mind, with its narrow hallways of perception, tends to demand particular people, specific jobs, certain refunds, or expected inheritances. Such limiting creates resistance that blocks the unlimited avenues through which supply seeks to reach you. Announce the finished scene with clarity, then step aside gracefully, allowing higher wisdom to select channels you could never have conceived through your limited perspective. Create extended mental movies rather than static pictures, developing ongoing narratives that show your prosperity unfolding through time with increasing detail and complexity. See yourself moving through entire days as a financially free individual, experiencing morning routines, work activities, social interactions, and evening relaxation from the perspective of someone living in complete abundance. These elaborate mental scenarios create deeper impressions upon your subconscious while providing rich emotional experiences that strengthen prosperity, consciousness, and accelerate physical manifestation. Use sacred tokens and physical symbols to anchor your visualizations in the material realm, for symbols speak the native language of the subconscious mind and serve as homing beacons for your pictured good. Prepare a pristine ledger with columns titled, "Received in Perfect Ways." Create space in your wallet for larger denominations than you currently carry. Organize financial records with dignity befitting increased supply. These physical preparations announce to your deeper mind, make ready for increase. The order of the day. Weave gratitude throughout your visualization practice because appreciation serves as abundance's great multiplier, instantly aligning you with prosperity's flow while signaling your readiness to receive increased supply. Express profound thankfulness for the wealth you are experiencing in your mental pictures, feeling genuine appreciation for financial freedom as if it were already manifested completely. This grateful attitude creates additional magnetic power, while dissolving any hidden feelings of unworthiness that might delay your demonstration. Support your mental imagery with spoken affirmations that reinforce the same prosperous outcomes, creating consistent messages that penetrate your subconscious from multiple angles simultaneously. Your declarations should reflect identical prosperity to what you visualize, using present tense language that assumes your desired conditions already exist in spiritual reality. This coordination between spoken word and mental image creates synergistic power that multiplies the effectiveness of both practices exponentially. Practice forgiveness to clarify the lens of inner vision. For resentment, fogs mental sight, while grievance paints bars across your prosperity pictures. If any person or institution seems to stand between you and your financial good, enter your visualization and see them bathed in light, released to their highest good, with yourself completely free as well. Speak within, "I loose you and let you go. You are not my source. My supply flows from infinite intelligence through perfect channels." This forgiveness work often produces immediate clarity and renewed momentum in your visualization practice. Incorporate generous giving into your mental imagery, because circulation represents prosperity's heartbeat, and what you release in consciousness returns multiplied beyond measure. Visualize yourself giving freely and wisely. See gifts offered with gladness, donations made in joy, debts forgiven in the quiet of your heart. When your inner pictures include blessing others abundantly, you widen the channels through which supply can reach you, for the universe delights to pour through those who pour forth generously. Address visualization difficulties with patience and gentle persistence, understanding that many individuals initially struggle with clear mental imagery due to years of focusing primarily on external appearances rather than inner vision. If detailed pictures do not come easily, begin by simply thinking about your desired financial conditions with feeling, gradually developing visualization abilities through consistent practice. Some respond better to feeling-based approaches, experiencing prosperity's emotions and sensations without necessarily seeing detailed visual images. And this method proves equally effective for manifestation purposes. Cleanse your inner gallery of old limitation, pictures that linger like smoke-stained canvases, contaminating your new prosperity images. When anxious scenes appear, unpaid bills glaring, doors closing, accounts emptying, do not wrestle with these negative pictures, but immediately replace them using the law of substitution. Declare firmly, "That picture is not mine. I choose my divine design of abundance," then instantly present your chosen prosperity scene. This replacement technique prevents old patterns from undermining your new visualization work. Guard against force and strain during visualization practice, because the inner world responds to the tone of your mental gaze rather than the intensity of your effort. Gentle, steady beholding bears far more fruit than furrowed brows and clenched determination. The sun coaxes, blossoms open with warmth rather than force, and your prosperity pictures unfold through relaxed confidence rather than desperate pushing. Approach your visualization work with playful trust and joyful expectation, treating it as delightful communion with creative power rather than anxious striving for results. Act from your visualizations rather than toward them by making decisions and taking actions from the consciousness of the prosperous person you consistently see yourself being in your mental imagery. Begin handling current financial matters with the dignity and wisdom you would exercise when wealthy, paying obligations promptly and cheerfully, blessing money as it circulates, organizing accounts with order befitting increased supply. These actions demonstrate faith in your visualized reality while signaling to universal law that you have accepted prosperity as genuine truth, deserving physical expression. Practice sacred pauses throughout each day, inserting your prosperity vision before decisions and during challenging moments. When worry flashes, pause and see abundance. When bills arrive, pause and visualize surplus. When purchases are considered, pause and see yourself buying with ease. This practice trains your mind to return instinctively to your blueprint until the vision becomes the atmosphere in which you live, move, and have your financial being. Prepare for the arrival of your visualized good by developing the consciousness and skills necessary to handle increased wealth responsibly. Your mental rehearsal serves as emotional and practical preparation, making you comfortable with abundance while ensuring you become a worthy steward of the supply flowing toward you. When your visualization manifests, and it must according to spiritual law, you will be fully equipped to receive and utilize your demonstrated prosperity for the highest good of all concerned. Remember that what you visualize for yourself, you must also see as possible for others, for envy shrivels vision, while blessing expands it exponentially. When you witness another's financial increase, bless it as proof of universal law working perfectly and affirm similar prosperity for yourself. This shared abundance consciousness lifts the collective atmosphere in which your personal demonstration unfolds, creating rising tides of visualization that raise every prepared vessel within their reach, including your own carefully crafted blueprint of financial freedom and unlimited supply. The ultimate demonstration of financial abundance requires mastering the most profound spiritual paradox. True manifestation occurs not through desperate human effort, but through the sacred marriage of complete release and unwavering receptive faith. This represents the culmination of all prosperity consciousness work, where casting your burden upon the higher power within combines with maintaining absolute expectation that your good is already accomplished in the spiritual realm and must manifest in perfect timing through ideal channels. Release and receptive faith operate as twin flames that together ignite the most powerful force in the universe, the law of divine supply, responding to consciousness perfectly aligned with infinite abundance. The burden you must cast encompasses far more than surface worry about money. It includes every trace of anxiety about timing, every concern about specific methods, every fear about worthiness, and every desperate attempt to force abundance through particular channels that seem logical to your finite understanding. This burden represents the accumulated weight of believing that you, through limited human effort, must orchestrate the infinite details necessary to manifest financial supply. When you truly cast this burden, you experience immediate relief as responsibility transfers from your struggling consciousness to the unlimited intelligence that coordinates galaxies, seasons, and countless life forms with effortless precision. Casting your burden constitutes a fundamental identity shift from a limited human being dependent upon external sources to an individualized expression of infinite supply itself. This transformation occurs through conscious recognition that the same intelligence maintaining universal order possesses unlimited capacity to arrange your financial affairs with mathematical precision. Speak with complete authority. I cast the burden of all financial concern upon the God mind within me. I release all worry about methods, timing, and channels. I transfer complete responsibility for my supply to the infinite intelligence that knows how to manifest abundance in ways I cannot imagine. I go free to receive my good through grace and in perfect ways. Feel the actual weight lifting from your consciousness as you make this declaration. This represents not passive resignation, but the highest form of spiritual action, aligning yourself with the source of all good, rather than struggling against currents of limitation created by human effort. You are announcing to universal law, I have placed my order with complete specifications for abundant supply. I now trust infinite wisdom to select methods, timing, and channels that exceed my current comprehension. True. Release demands, surrendering all attachment to specific methods through which your financial good must appear. For such limitation creates resistance that blocks the unlimited avenues through which abundance seeks to reach you. The human mind, operating from narrow perspective, can conceive only a few possible channels for money to manifest, perhaps through employment, business ventures, investments, or expected sources. However, infinite intelligence operates through countless pathways that transcend your current understanding, including opportunities you have never imagined, connections you have not yet made, and circumstances that have not yet appeared in your visible world. When you outline specific methods for your supply, you unconsciously limit the universe's ability to deliver your good through the most miraculous and unexpected channels possible. Your abundance might seek to come through a chance encounter, leading to ideal opportunity through resolution of forgotten matters. In your favor, through unexpected gifts from someone moved by divine impulse, or through avenues so unusual that your rational mind would never consider them viable possibilities. Divine intelligence delights in surprising its beloved children with demonstrations that exceed their wildest expectations, but only when consciousness remains open to receive good through any perfect channel. The practice of non-outline extends to releasing time limitations, for divine timing operates with perfect precision according to universal law rather than human impatience. Your good manifests at the ideal moment when all circumstances align for maximum blessing, when you are fully prepared to receive and utilize increased supply, and when the demonstration serves the highest good of all concerned. Attempting to force specific timing often delays manifestation by creating resistance in consciousness, while trusting divine timing allows your good to unfold naturally when conditions are absolutely perfect. Receptive faith differs dramatically from passive waiting because it maintains dynamic expectation while remaining completely open to receive your good through any channel divine intelligence selects. This faith operates as a powerful magnetic force, drawing your financial increase toward you with irresistible attraction, creating currents of prosperity that flow naturally in your direction without struggle or strain. True receptive faith expects constantly while demanding nothing, trusts completely while controlling nothing, and prepares eagerly while forcing nothing into manifestation. The quality of receptivity requires developing spiritual sensitivity to recognize your good when it appears, for abundance often arrives in forms different from your mental expectations. Your financial increase might come disguised as an unexpected opportunity, requiring courage to accept, as connection with someone who initially seems unimportant, or as guidance to take actions that appear unrelated to money but open perfect channels for supply. Receptive faith maintains alert awareness for these divine appointments while remaining flexible enough to recognize and accept your good regardless of its appearance. Cultivating receptive faith involves treating your desired financial conditions as already accomplished facts in the spiritual realm awaiting physical manifestation. This perspective shifts your consciousness from seeking abundance to accepting abundance, from trying to create supply to recognizing supply that already exists. When you maintain this receptive attitude consistently, you align with the natural flow of prosperity rather than swimming against currents of limitation created by doubt, fear, and excessive personal effort. The interplay between release and receptive faith creates a sacred rhythm that becomes the heartbeat of your prosperity consciousness. You release the burden and immediately fill that space with expectant faith. You surrender the method and embrace certainty about the result. You let go of anxious striving and open yourself to joyful receiving. This continuous dance creates an irresistible, magnetic field around your consciousness, drawing desired financial abundance from the invisible realm into visible experience with increasing momentum and ease. This rhythm operates moment by moment throughout each day. When financial concerns attempt to reclaim your consciousness, immediately redirect attention through the twin action of release and reception. Declare, I have cast this burden upon infinite intelligence within me. I do not take it back. My good is already accomplished and now appears through perfect channels. This prevents anxious mental rehearsal that reinforces limitation while keeping consciousness aligned with unlimited supply that is already yours by present of anyone. Divine right. The temptation to reclaim your burden arises whenever appearances suggest delay or difficulty. The moment you observe an unpaid bill, face an unexpected expense, or notice any financial pressure, human nature seeks to resume personal responsibility for solving these challenges through limited effort. However, taking back your burden after casting it upon divine intelligence creates confusion in consciousness that delays manifestation and often complicates situations unnecessarily. Maintain your release by blessing apparent challenges as opportunities for divine intelligence to demonstrate its unlimited power in your affairs. True receptive faith creates what ancient wisdom calls the Sabbath of mind, a state of inner restfulness where mental striving ceases and consciousness rests in absolute trust, while universal law arranges your demonstrations behind the scenes. This represents not idleness but the highest form of spiritual activity, allowing the creative force to work without interference from fear, doubt, or impatient human manipulation. During this Sabbath of mind, intuitive guidance arises naturally as ideas, promptings, nudges, names to call, or places to visit. Receptive faith acts swiftly on such guidance without hesitation, for delay often steals demonstrations that arrive through divine appointment. When gentle inner direction appears, obey immediately and calmly, understanding this as the hand of grace leading you to prepared good. The farmer does not dig up seeds each morning to check their progress. He waters, blesses, and trusts natural law to produce the harvest. Similarly, you speak your word of increase, picture your abundance, and then rest in faith while law works in the invisible realm to manifest your desired results. Sacred waiting differs completely from passive inactivity because it involves maintaining dynamic expectation while remaining alert for divine guidance about any actions you should take to cooperate with your demonstration. This waiting period often includes inspired impulses that seem unrelated to money but create perfect conditions for financial increase to manifest. True receptive faith responds immediately to these divine promptings without questioning their logic or demanding guarantees about outcomes. Transform these principles into living reality through consistent daily practices that reinforce your trust in divine provision while preparing practical channels for abundance to flow. Begin each morning by casting any financial concerns upon the higher power within you, releasing them completely before engaging with daily activities. This morning release prevents anxious mental rehearsal from contaminating consciousness and creating resistance to supply seeking to reach you. Speak with authority. I cast all financial burdens upon the infinite intelligence within me. I release completely all concern for methods, timing, and channels. I go free to receive my abundant supply through grace and in perfect ways. My good is already accomplished in the spiritual realm and now manifests through ideal channels at perfect timing. Feel the 6 Bishans, actual relief, as this burden transfers from your limited consciousness to unlimited wisdom. Immediately follow release with declarations of receptive faith. I am open and ready to receive unexpected money now. I expect financial blessings from sources known and unknown. I watch for my good with joyful anticipation, knowing it appears in perfect ways that exceed my current understanding. I give thanks that my abundant supply is already on its way to me through channels of grace. Throughout each day, practice instant release whenever financial thoughts create tension or concern in consciousness. Rather than entertaining worries or trying to solve money challenges through mental effort, immediately transfer these concerns to divine intelligence. This matter belongs to higher wisdom. I release it completely and go free to receive my perfect supply. This instant release prevents accumulation of anxious thought patterns that block demonstration. Prepare your environment and affairs as demonstration of your expectant faith, for preparation serves as the visible language of inner conviction. Organize financial records with dignity, befitting increased supply. Handle current money matters with gratitude and respect, and approach all financial decisions from consciousness of unlimited abundance rather than fear of scarcity. These preparations announce to universal law your readiness to receive demonstrations you have released to divine intelligence. Create sacred space where you perform your daily release and reception work. This space accumulates spiritual atmosphere through repeated use, amplifying the magnetic power of your practice. Place a clean envelope labeled "Unexpected Money Received" and feed it faithfully as demonstrations occur. Treat your mailbox as an altar where good announcements arrive. Greet email notifications as potential messengers bearing opportunities. Clear your wallet of clutter. Arrange financial papers in dignified order and handle all money with reverence and gratitude. These acts represent not pretense but faith made visible, creating additional magnetic attraction that compels arrival of what you have prepared to receive. Bless every dollar that passes through your hands, knowing it returns to you multiplied through perfect circulation. Forgiveness accelerates the manifestation process by removing mental blocks that bind prosperity in consciousness like dams across flowing rivers. Resentment toward others regarding money matters creates knots in your flow of abundance, while releasing all accounts mentally transfers them to divine collection and opens channels for increased supply. Often long-awaited financial increase appears the moment you set a debtor free in consciousness, because you have untied your own inflow through the same mental motion that released another. If someone owes you money and delays repayment, release them completely in consciousness with this treatment. I loose you and let you go to your lay. Highest good. You are not my source. My supply flows from infinite intelligence through perfect channels that exceed this single avenue. I hand this account to divine law, which balances all things perfectly and brings my good to me in larger measure through expected and unexpected sources. Feel genuine freedom as you make this release, knowing you have opened floodgates for supply to reach you through unlimited channels. Practice universal forgiveness by blessing the financial success of others as proof that prosperity doors are open for everyone. When witnessing another's abundance, declare, "I bless your prosperity," as evidence that infinite supply is available to all. What is possible for you is possible for me. There is enough for everyone, and my good now appears through perfect channels. This generous consciousness creates rising tides of abundance that lift all vessels, including your own carefully prepared channels for supply. As release and receptive faith mature through consistent practice, your financial demonstrations begin appearing with such regularity and ease that abundance becomes your natural state rather than unusual occurrence. Money flows through multiple channels simultaneously. Unexpected windfalls arrive precisely when needed, and opportunities multiply beyond your ability to accept them all. This represents not luck or coincidence, but natural result of consciousness aligned perfectly with unlimited supply that is your divine inheritance. Perfect release creates clear space in consciousness for divine intelligence to work without interference from fear, doubt, or limiting beliefs about how abundance must appear. This unobstructed channel allows prosperity to flow in its most natural state, effortlessly, abundantly, and through perfect methods that serve the highest good of all concerned. Your role transforms from struggling creator to grateful receiver, from anxious controller to peaceful cooperator with infinite intelligence that active to be persons of contras. Delights in demonstrating unlimited power through those who trust it completely. Develop the consciousness of living in divine economy, where supply flows according to spiritual law rather than material appearances. In this elevated awareness, you recognize every financial transaction as circulation in the one infinite substance, every payment as blessing returning to you multiplied, every apparent challenge as opportunity for greater demonstration of supply. This consciousness makes you irresistible magnet for unexpected money, because you have become clear channel for abundance to express itself through your experience. Guard the gates of attention vigilantly, for repeated worry operates as negative ritual that summons the very conditions you wish to avoid. Each time anxiety rises, perform the sacred ritual of release and reception. Breathe deeply, cast the burden upon infinite intelligence, and immediately declare your expectant faith in perfect supply. Then engage in next right action. Organize a drawer, send an email, bless a name, prepare an invoice. Movement breaks the trance of limitation while demonstrating your cooperation with divine law. The ultimate fruit of mastering release and receptive faith reveals the fundamental truth that abundance represents your natural state rather than something you must create, attract, or deserve through personal effort. By releasing all burdens to divine intelligence while maintaining unwavering expectation of perfect supply, you align with unlimited prosperity that has always been yours, allowing it to manifest in your experience with the same natural ease that flowers bloom in spring, rivers flow toward the sea, and your heart beats without conscious effort. In this consciousness, unexpected money becomes as natural as breathing, for you have learned to rest in the source of all supply, while remaining open to receive its infinite expressions through channels of grace that exceed your wildest dreams and most extravagant expectations. Prosperity breathes through the eternal rhythm of circulation, moving as a living river of divine substance rather than stagnant pools of hoarded resources. Money represents spirit in motion, a faithful servant of divine order that multiplies wherever it flows freely through consciousness, aligned with abundance, and diminishes wherever it becomes imprisoned by fear, desperate clutching, or resentful complaint. The universe delivers unlimited abundance to the open hand that releases with blessing and passes by the clenched fist that grips from consciousness of scarcity. When you understand the sacred vacuum that infinite intelligence abhors emptiness in consciousness and hastens to fill every space cleared for good, you discover how to become the wide, clear channel through which unlimited supply rushes in perfect ways and perfect amounts, often from sources both known and completely unexpected. Circulation operates as the fundamental language of increase throughout all creation, governing the flow of abundance with the same precision that controls the movement of tides, seasons, and celestial bodies. What you release in faith and blessing, you invite back multiplied according to spiritual law. What you hoard through fear or grip through anxiety, you unconsciously announce as insufficient, creating magnetic repulsion that drives abundance toward more welcoming channels. Your money responds to the vibrational tone of your consciousness, hearing every thought and feeling you direct toward it with supernatural sensitivity. When you send money forth with genuine blessing and gratitude, it returns accompanied by additional supply drawn from the infinite reservoir. When you release money with resentment, complaint, or fearful reluctance, it seeks other homes that welcome circulation with appreciation and joy. Every payment, gift, and generous act serves as a living decree written across the responsive substance of the universe, announcing, with unmistakable clarity, I live in infinite supply. I trust the source completely. I am safe to circulate abundantly. This decree receives immediate response with mathematical precision, for universal law operates without favoritism or exception, simply returning to each individual exactly what their consciousness has announced through feeling, word, and consistent action. The farmer who sows generously reaps abundantly, while the one who withholds seed from fear ensures barren fields. This principle applies with identical force to the circulation of money, opportunities, kindness, and all forms of good. The sacred vacuum represents your conscious invitation to increased abundance, created through deliberately releasing anything that no longer serves your highest good or blocks the free flow of prosperity through your experience. This includes outworn beliefs about money's scarcity, unused possessions cluttering your environment, lingering resentments that create knots in your money supply channels, stale commitments that drain energy without returning value, and even small, neglected financial matters that create disorder in your monetary affairs. When you clear space in your physical drawers and closets, you feel fresh energy surge through your entire living environment. When you create openings in your calendar by releasing obligations that no longer inspire you, new opportunities discover their appointed hour to appear. When you bring order to bank ledgers and financial records, organizing scattered balances into dignified arrangement, you witness corresponding sums arriving to match your newly established harmony. Speak with authority as you create these sacred vacuums. I now make perfect space for my increased good. Infinite intelligence fills every cleared channel immediately with substance rich, radiant, and perfectly suited to my highest needs and desires. Then act in complete alignment with this declaration, removing physical, mental, and emotional clutter that blocks the natural flow of abundance, seeking expression through your life. The universe responds instantly to genuine preparation, recognizing your readiness to receive and steward increased supply with wisdom and gratitude. Begin this circulation work with your immediate environment, understanding that outer conditions reflect inner consciousness while simultaneously influencing the quality of your thoughts and feelings. Handle your wallet as a sacred temple object, a portable sanctuary where spiritual substance temporarily manifests as currency and credit instruments. Remove tattered bills that broadcast poverty consciousness, crumpled receipts that create disorder, and accumulated debris of forgetfulness that announces careless relationship with money. Arrange your cards with dignity, blessing each as a key to honorable circulation, and place fresh currency in front as visible symbol of the elevated standard you now maintain. Your subconscious mind carefully observes the respect and reverence you demonstrate toward money's dwelling place, then moves to supply you according to the consciousness you consistently express. Extend this principle of sacred order to all your financial accounts, naming each with clear intention that reflects its highest purpose: Freedom Account, Generous Giving Fund, Expansion Investment, Security Reserve. Allow these very titles to declare your new covenant with circulation, announcing to universal law your readiness to handle money as a spiritual tool rather than mere material commodity. When transferring funds between accounts, perform each transaction consciously with spoken words of blessing. As this money circulates according to divine plan, it returns to me multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over with perfect timing. Your spoken word anoints every financial transaction with spiritual power, rewriting old patterns of anxious manipulation and replacing them with faith-filled circulation that aligns with infinite supply. The law of circulation rejoices in generosity that flows from genuine inspiration rather than fearful obligation or social pressure. True giving arises naturally when consciousness aligns with the unlimited source, expressing itself through joyful sharing rather than reluctant duty. Develop the practice of sitting quietly each morning and asking within, "Where shall I circulate good today?" Then obey immediately the first gentle nudge that arises, whether it suggests a small gift, encouraging message, bouquet of sincere praise for someone laboring without recognition, or larger, offering to work that blesses many lives. The specific amount matters infinitely less than the consciousness from which you give, for your inner attitude determines the spiritual power of every gift before universal law measures its material value. Many individuals fear that giving diminishes their personal store of supply, but awakened consciousness recognizes that circulation actually increases available abundance through the fundamental law of multiplication. The wise farmer who withholds seed during planting season does not secure future harvest, but ensures completely barren fields when harvest time arrives. Identical principle governs money. Conscious sowing creates conditions for multiplied return, while fearful hoarding announces scarcity consciousness that repels abundance. However, your financial sowing must flow from wisdom, inspiration, and genuine cheerfulness, for reluctant giving carries the destructive vibration of loss, while joyful circulation amplifies unlimited gain through spiritual law. Practice the sacred art of microcirculation by blessing small coins placed in tip containers with identical reverence you would show toward substantial donations, paying modest bills with the same appreciation you would feel making grand investments. This consistent practice trains your nervous system to feel completely safe within the natural rhythm of outflow and inflow, healing primitive reflexes of financial contraction that poverty consciousness taught you to mistake for prudent caution. Every act of conscious circulation, regardless of amount, strengthens your magnetic attraction for increased supply while demonstrating faith in unlimited abundance. Creating sacred vacuums through the release of financial grievances represents one of the most powerful forms of channel clearing available to prosperity consciousness. Resentment operates like accumulated rust within the pipes of abundance, narrowing channels for supply while discoloring everything that attempts to flow through contaminated passages. When someone appears to have blocked your financial good through delayed payments, broken agreements, or seemingly unfair treatment, immediately declare with authority, "You are not my source of supply. I loose you completely and release you to your highest good. My abundant provision flows from infinite intelligence through perfect channels that exceed this single avenue." In the precise moment of genuine release, you clear obstructed pathways where knots once restricted natural flow, allowing wide rivers of abundance to resume their intended course toward your experience. Countless individuals have witnessed unexpected refunds, forgotten credits, and surprising opportunities appearing almost immediately after forgiving long-held money grievances, because outer movement always mirrors inner transformation. The external circulation begins flowing freely again. The instant internal resistance dissolves through conscious forgiveness and release. This represents not coincidence, but precise operation of spiritual law governing the relationship between consciousness and manifestation. Non-resistance serves as circulation's most faithful ally, transforming every financial interaction from potential struggle into opportunity for increased flow. When bills arrive in your mailbox, greet each envelope with genuine blessing, instead of automatic dread or resentment. Recognize every invoice as a certificate of circulation, tangible proof that valuable substance has already moved in your favor through services rendered, utilities provided, or products delivered, now requesting completion through grateful payment that honors the exchange. Hold each bill lightly while declaring with conviction, "You are easily and joyfully paid, and I celebrate perfect circulation. As you flow forth with my blessing, your departure creates immediate space for more than sufficient supply to replace you." Then complete payment promptly and cheerfully, maintaining consciousness of one who keeps abundance channels clear, swift, and unobstructed. Strengthen your capacity for receiving by practicing conscious acceptance of every form of good that approaches your experience, including compliments, assistance, unexpected gifts, valuable introductions, and inspired ideas. Many sincere seekers unconsciously refuse small blessings while simultaneously praying for magnificent demonstrations, failing to recognize that each acceptance widens receiving channels while training consciousness to feel safe with increased supply. When someone offers genuine praise, receive it fully and simply respond, "Thank you for recognizing that quality." When gifts appear, accept gracefully without apologetic protests or anxious impulses toward immediate repayment. Allow receiving to claim its rightful place in the sacred rhythm of circulation, understanding that conscious inhalation must precede powerful exhalation in the breathing of abundance. Establish circulation rituals that anchor your new covenant with unlimited supply through consistent daily practices. On every day you receive income from any source, immediately set aside your giving portion while blessing it aloud with gratitude and clear intention. Assign specific amounts to your various accounts with ceremonial reverence, treating each allocation as sacred act of stewardship, rather than mechanical division. Maintain a dedicated ledger titled Circulation and Return, recording outflows with expected inflows, not as demands upon universal law but as recognition of natural principles governing spiritual economics. Over time, you will observe with amazement the precise correspondence between conscious circulation and multiplied return. Gifts generating unexpected opportunities, payments followed immediately by new income sources, acts of kindness returning through different channels, bearing packages larger than anything you originally sent forth. Make abundant physical space for incoming good by clearing drawers, organizing shelves, and maintaining surfaces in dignified order that announces readiness for increased supply. The vacuum law delights in prepared spaces, responding swiftly to consciousness that creates room for expansion. Release duplicate items, broken objects that broadcast limitation, and accumulated possessions held for someday that continuously announce poverty's favorite deception of perpetual postponement. Each article released becomes a bell rung throughout invisible realms, summoning fresh supply to fill spaces prepared with faith and expectation. As you box items for donation, bless future recipients while declaring, "What leaves my hands blesses another and returns to me multiplied according to perfect law." Observe how quickly universal intelligence responds to cheerful emptiness with appropriate abundance. Time itself operates as a powerful circulation channel, requiring conscious management for optimal flow. Examine your calendar carefully for stagnant pools of commitment that neither give nor receive value, obligations that drain energy without purpose, meetings that rehearse tired stories without progress, habits that consume precious hours without returning inspiration or growth. Clear these temporal blockages with loving firmness, creating white space where divine guidance can land with inspired Direction. Often, your next financial increase requires only a small window of availability for its perfect idea to take root. Lacking that opening, opportunities circle endlessly like birds seeking branches that never appear. Sacred emptiness in your schedule extends an open hand that announces, I am ready to receive whatever good seeks to express through my willingness. Listen carefully for inspired action, following your circulation work, understanding that abundance moves through both invisible and visible channels simultaneously. After blessing and releasing, you may receive inner promptings to contact specific individuals, send particular messages, rearrange certain spaces, or polish neglected skills that suddenly become relevant. Act swiftly and calmly upon such guidance, recognizing these impulses as divine appointments orchestrated by infinite intelligence. The oar placed consciously in flowing water does not create the river's current, but allows you to join natural movement and be carried efficiently toward shores prepared for your arrival. Guard vigilantly against circulation's deceptive imitation, which manifests as reckless spending driven by anxiety, boredom, or unconscious attempts to numb uncomfortable sensations. This represents not true sowing, but wasteful scattering into unproductive ground that yields no harvest. Authentic circulation flows from inner peace, follows intuitive guidance, and leaves consciousness feeling expanded rather than depleted. When uncertainty arises about any financial decision, pause and ask within, is this conscious circulation or unconscious compulsion? Peace will identify itself clearly through calm certainty, while force reveals itself through agitation or pressure. When peace speaks, follow its direction immediately. When silence prevails, wait in patient trust, understanding that faithful waiting represents powerful movement in spiritual realms, where your demonstrations are being perfectly arranged. Honor every return, regardless of size, recognizing small manifestations as foundation stones supporting larger demonstrations yet to come. When discounts appear unexpectedly, refunds arrive without request, or friends spontaneously offer treats, acknowledge each blessing with genuine appreciation. Maintain an unexpected money record, blessing every entry as evidence of circulation principles operating in your experience. Your mind learns through consistent repetition. You are systematically training consciousness to perceive evidence of increase rather than focusing habitually on apparent lack. What you celebrate consistently, you summon repeatedly. What you ignore persistently, you postpone indefinitely. Transform your entire living space into a house of conscious circulation through simple practices that maintain abundance atmosphere. Fresh flowers honor beauty while announcing prosperity consciousness. A decorative bowl near your entrance containing blessed coins creates welcoming energy for incoming good. Designated drawers marked gifts, where small treasures await their destined recipients. Letters of gratitude written and mailed regularly. Spoken appreciation before meals, before sleep, before payments, and before purchases. This sustained atmosphere becomes a powerful magnet, creating magnetic fields that draw matching experiences from invisible realms into visible manifestation with increasing frequency and magnitude. Remember that circulation moves through ideas and creativity, as well as money and material goods. Insights shared multiply exponentially, while wisdom hidden through fear gradually withers from lack of expression. Speak your helpful discoveries, publish your useful creations, offer your unique services with confidence and joy. As your gifts circulate through various channels, they return as money, favorable connections, friendship, and opportunities in forms you may not predict, but will certainly recognize when they appear. Declare with authority, my gifts are in constant demand. I release them with complete joy, and perfect compensation returns to me, according to divine law operating through ideal channels. Stand regularly in the center of your living space, with arms opened wide, declaring quietly, I am a clear, open channel for unlimited supply. I release freely, I receive fully, I circulate wisely. I am completely safe in the eternal river of life. Then immediately move one item that no longer belongs while consciously welcoming fresh good, even if only through a breath taken with full awareness. Universal law observes every gesture and hastens to match your preparation with corresponding demonstrations, for you have announced your readiness to live, according to the sacred rhythm governing galaxies and gold alike, the holy circulation that breathes abundance through every prepared channel without strain, struggle, or DIY.